There it is. That's alive.
They let you do lives now, huh?
Yeah, I have been able to do live streams for quite some time. I can mobile live stream now too.
You want one of these?
I have mine still here. This was my birthday beer, KDS by Founders.
Oh, nice.
It's the last one. They're very strong. The bourbon flavor. Yeah. Oh,
I think
there's
this is
a robot.
7.
There's a robot watching. Okay. You put them on now. It's open now. Would you like a square gummy? Now that I have some char started, I'll throw some more woods in there. Yeah, catch fires, guys.
Oh,
should have put these on sooner.
That's funny.
What?
Well, that it calls it high dose.
Yeah. Well, they have other ones that have 20 in a pack that are a lower dosage.
Well, I say that only because I've had the Snoop Dogg ones. They're like 100 milligrams per piece, and there's only like 2 in the package.
Oh yeah, I've had those kind too.
Those things are crazy, man.
200 milligrams, and there's 2 of them. I like brownies, same thing, 200 milligram brownies, and there's 2 little tiny brownies in it, like for elementary school child size. But they go quick.
Yeah, they go quick. Oh. Yeah, I'm so I don't know. I got a bunch of fucking tomato plants. They're like anywhere from like, this to this tall.
Yeah.
And I gotta put them in the ground.
Get them in the ground.
It's just, I don't want to cut a new bed just to do that.
Well,
and I have that one bed that's in the shade. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, man, I don't know.
That's a tough spot, man. If I was you, I'd look for some things that are low sun, some sort of flower or something you could plant there. That would be a good spot for that spot. Maybe tomorrow morning we can go get a couple things of sawdust and start loading up that raised bed.
Well,
so if we do half of it or so.
What time though?
Whenever.
Well,
I've got all day.
Okay, I don't have all day. I mean, I got.
Okay, so I guess the question
would
be better
1 o'clock to be having food on the table.
Okay.
So David's coming over at like 11:30, something like that.
Well, I would say that question is better directed at you then.
It'd have to be fucking early if we're gonna do that. I mean, that's like a couple hours worth of work at least, right?
To haul sawdust?
Well, we go get my can, get your can.
Yeah.
Use your van, go down there, load it up.
Let's say an
come
hour,
on back,
hour max.
unload it.
Hour max. Including putting it into the bed until you're like, well, I think that's enough. I think one trip will put more in there than you
I think.
realize. I mean, you said you put larger material in the bottom of the raised bed, like some wood chunks and whatnot.
Dude, yeah, there's like probably. Let's see, that's a. Hang on, let me think about this. That's a. At 2 feet high? Yeah, that's 2 feet high, so it's 24 inches.
Because this stuff's gonna fill in pretty quick.
No, it's taller than that. Fuck, I don't even remember how fucking tall I made that damn bed. But it's at least half. I got at least half filled with bullshit and just wood and bottom. And yeah, I dumped like a wheelbarrow full of mulch in there, and now I regret it because I'm like, because of those plants I just put in today and Friday. I'm just like, man, I could have just put them around that. And now I'm gonna probably just steal from around my dill and around some of the other plants that
Let's get some more mulch.
Well, yeah, there's that. But like I said, I don't. Without you there, I don't feel comfortable going out there by myself. One, and two, I don't feel. I really don't think that a good container will fit in either of my vehicles.
Yeah. I mean, like the mulch, be amazed what a 5-gallon bucket would do of mulch, to fill in a spot real quick. Like, oh, I got a new spot here. 5-gallon bucket will spread pretty good. So, I mean, even that you could haul in your car pretty quick and easy, and you definitely don't have to be concerned going out there for that.
That's true, because I got 4 5-gallon buckets.
Otherwise, I got no problem helping you transport the stuff when I can.
So I had a idea today. One of the things I was trying to get done with Dave tomorrow was I was going to try to clear up as much of the back side of my shed as possible so that I can get my water tank moved and set in place the way I want it.
I mean, the sooner it's there, the sooner you can plan on everything else about it being there.
And then, because today I had to water my garden, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make sure that I can get as much of that water out as possible because it was damn near empty anyway. So I went through and I put as much as I could on my garden until it got down to a point where it wasn't worth it, and I just left the valve open and I just let it go.
Yeah.
And then I still had like my little herb garden up by the house to deal with, and so I dealt with that by taking that pump that we bought at Harbor Freight, and I pumped it right out of my bathtub.
Yeah, that worked well for you.
Well, I used a 5-gallon bucket with a tap run.
It's a tube and a grinder.
Me?
There's a tube in the tube. I put the chilliin inside the plastic tube. Keeps it from getting broke in my pocket and stuff.
That's pretty good. That's a good idea.
Well, lessons. Gotta learn them. Let me go to my van and see about my cigarettes. Yeah, my elderberry. Did you see it? That was the one sitting over there. I think I'm going to move it over here.
You know, once I get all my raised beds in place the way I want them.
Oh, yeah. She perked right up. She was thirsty. Apparently, the wind blew it over and it broke a branch.
Uh-oh.
I forgot it last weekend. It's an elderberry.
Damn, dude. You got roots coming out the bottom.
Yeah, it needs planted. I was supposed to take it last week. They celebrated my birthday, and I got this plant, and I forgot it. I'm thinking I might plant it right here in the front yard, maybe even in this new bed.
Elderberries
Yes.
to make you a food forest.
It's a superfood. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going towards. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going towards. I joked around before.
I really like that YouTube, that guide.
Oh yeah, and over in Jersey.
Yeah.
See, I picked up these seeds today out there. That open house. There was a really nice, pretty flowering tree with giant freaking leaves.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what kind it was, but I collected a seed pod off of it and took the little seeds that were in there. So I'm hoping I can germinate them and grow those trees. So I'm thinking that's one thing I can do. Maybe not even all that many years. I may actually be able to, be growing some of these things and cultivating off of my own, vegetations and, passing them off, selling them, who knows. But I do like that I've got the flaming bushes and the flowering bushes that I'm starting to take their shoots and, move further along than just mowing over them.
I'm surprised at how big my potato plants have got.
They're bigger than mine. For sure. So that's nice. Keep dirt mounded up around them and stuff.
But then again, when I put them in, it was whole things. I didn't cut them up or nothing, even though it had like multiple eyelets. I didn't cut them up.
Those will grow off into roots and tubers, so that's good. I have plenty of food.
Yeah,
plenty of food. I mean, and it's going to help bust up your clay soil there.
Dude, I was going to plant those herbs on Friday. And I was putting in the time, and that's kind of a gangly plant anyway.
Yeah.
The way it is right at the moment, and I'm like digging down right, and I'm like, I put my hand in something that didn't feel right. I'm like, you motherfucking cat.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not dirt. Bleh.
Yeah.
Bleh.
My cat, I
chucked it over underneath my bush, and I'm like, you motherfucking cat.
I had mulched, and my cat, I'm guessing it was my cat. There was mulch moved out of the way, and a couple big old turds sitting there. It's Monty. He does hang out a lot in the garden. He does. Both gardens. He's scared the shit out of me a few times when I've been outside at night doing the garden stuff. Bailey likes the garden too, but you got to get after her. She'll run right through the area. If you got little plants like radishes and starter plants, she'll run right through it. But if you got anything that's like it ain't even got to be a foot tall. She sees that and she'll run around it. But I've got borders set up, so I holler at her when she went through it, and she stayed out of it after that.
There's yeah, and I went out today to water, and I'm like, you fucking cat. And she had dug a spot and then pissed in it, and then fucking left it. I'm like, you fucking bitch.
Yeah,
But I
cats.
caught, dude, and I had to shoo it away because I was fertilizing today. I got some Miracle Grow.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, because like my corn was starting to yellow. I'm like, oh,
So you figure nitrogen deficient?
yeah.
Yeah, and they use an exorbitant amount of nutrients, a lot of nutrients for corn.
And so I'm like, well, all right, and that was it right there. And I just like, all right, I'm gonna get some Miracle Grow, see what that does. And that was I'm just like, I'm gonna see what it does. And I go. I had to do a water can at a time to get the right mixture because I didn't want to overdo it.
Uh-huh.
You know, I didn't want to underdo it. So um, after that, I took that fucking pump. Yeah, I just stuck it in a 5-gallon bucket with water running into the bucket in my tub, out the window, and fuck.
Good way to use your resources.
Because I had that idea the other day, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna try it, see what happens, because I still don't got my outside spigot, but I do have a guy coming on Tuesday to check it out.
Yeah, that looking better under there now. Then
It was the last time I looked,
good.
even though I had a frog.
Yeah.
A big fucking frog, dude. That motherfucker was probably about like that big or something like that. It was big enough that because it was after the rains, right? I looked down in there and I'm like, all right, it's got a little bit of water still, and I'm like, all right, and I checked the next day, and I like looked down in there.
And you heard a rivet.
I'm like, there's less. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is that making noise? And there's a fucking frog. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, how did that motherfucker get down there?
Yeah, good question. Found a way when he was little. That's funny.
Nature, like that motherfucker's gonna die down there because he can't get out.
Yeah, end up dried up. I know, like when it's dry under those places, they get dry. Like I crawl under my dad's house to do something for him once, and we crawl from one end to the other, and oh my gosh, it's so damn dry. Just moving along, it's dusty, dude. I mean, and it just like lingers. So it's old, dry air, dusty ground. It's like a powder.
Yeah.
You know, Jake, after you harvest your corn this year, you can put in some sort of bean. Beans are supposed to help real good about drawing in, putting back nutrients into your soils.
What kind? Huh?
Yeah, you put in some sort of bean. Some of that stuff you can put it in the fall and have it going into the winter. Not sure what ones though. Some of them grow fast too. Some stuff does grow fast, like radishes are like 21 days to maturity. So like my radishes back there are probably getting pretty close to being harvestable. I'd say probably next weekend they'd probably be ready to be plucking them out of there.
That's interesting.
Yep, because I'm figuring I'll pull the radishes out and I might go for another round of radishes somewhere. Not necessarily the same spot, but maybe if I mend that soil, maybe then I will again right there. You know, because I do have compost. I got a decent amount that's ready. I could be putting on the garden.
I'm thinking about that heavy about my raised bed because I was like eyeing my pile today
Yeah.
because I stuck my hand in the middle of it. I didn't turn it. It hasn't been turned in probably like, I don't know, since it rained.
Should be doing that stuff weekly for the
Well,
best results and the fastest.
I had been trying to do it like every couple days, but I
Oh
got a
no, give
bit
it a week.
much on that.
Give it a week. Got to give it time to process for a minute, and then you flip it around and mix it all up. Give it some time. You know, at once a week is plenty fine. Yep, I get behind on mine, and it might go by a little while.
Kitty.
My pile
Hey,
next
Monty,
time
come here.
as next
Come
stuff
here.
I take out there, I've got to
Come here.
make a fresh pile.
Oh, come here. Here, you can smell me.
Pile I got out there now has got a whole bunch of sticks in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I'll probably start filtering those out
Bunch of sticks in your
at
mulch.
the bottom of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like because I'll take branches and stuff that I prune off of things, and I'll throw them down on the ground, and I'll start composting on top of it. And then when I'm flipping, using my pitchfork, you know, I'll flip that stuff up, and once I get down to the sticks, I know I can scoop on those and throw those on top, break them up a little bit more, and keep going back and forth. Sticks get broke up pretty good. They don't really degrade real fast. What's up, cat? Monty's here to visit. Hi, Monty.
I like those little lights. I really do, John. Makes me want to get some.
They're not expensive, man. I mean, like
Where'd you get them?
I went to Dollar General and spent $1 each, and
Really?
same thing at Walmart or pretty much anywhere. You can get just a simple little light, or you can spend a few dollars on nicer ones. There's all kinds of different solar lamps out there, and I just like the plug and play where you just pull the little tab out, stick them in the ground, and leave them go. If you get a couple years out of them, I mean, shit, for $1.
Yeah.
And they do die out. I mean, especially going through winter, that's really hard on them.
Oh, isn't that where you just pluck them out?
Well, the problem is, do you want to let their solar battery go dead all winter because you put them away in the dark, or do you leave them in a window? Do you gather them all up outside and somewhere where you can keep them clear? Because they'll light up all winter long, you know. But like when you get snow buried on top of them for a while, then they ain't gonna light. Then they start picking and choosing, and they're just cheap little things. So. But I don't worry about it. I generally will leave them. All these yellow ones you see out there are stuff that I had from last year and the year before.
Hey, John.
This year's all the purple lights because that's the new thing, you know.
Purple lights?
Yeah, those little bluish color LEDs.
What, these here?
Yeah, the newer.
That you just did?
Yeah, so far every one I've bought this year has been that like bluish colored light.
Huh. I guess I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Let me go take a test.
Do it. I go stand right at the pine tree.
Maybe.
You only got 500 viewers right now.
You know what, John? Your bush is at the right height.
I know. That's what she said.
Because you could just come over here and be like, looking around. And see who's watching.
I grew sunflowers along that area last year, you know.
Well, I gotta give them some nitrogen. Right?
Yeah, sunflowers are some of my favorites. They might be my favorite flower. And you want to talk about something that'll draw in bees and bumblebees? Sunflowers will do it, man. Another month from now, I'll probably have all kinds of flying insects up here in this yard. I hope so. I wish I had a bumblebee moved into my house, though. That's what that little house is over there. Looks like someone knocked my gnome off. My gnome got knocked off.
Your gnome?
Yeah, see that wooden box over there? That's the bumblebee house.
Yeah. You had a gnome on it?
Yeah. He got knocked off. I'll just have to go and put him back on it. What's done is done. You can always get at it later if it ain't making a further mess. So,
I think I need a bigger fire, dude.
Vegas aliens, man. It's funny. I go into work and the guy I got working there, he asked me if I seen the Vegas aliens. What? Oh, they don't watch me. Nobody does.
Yeah, but doesn't that like save to the cloud?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I do it. My primary reason was to document what I got going on. Like back in COVID, I was doing my gardening and I wanted to share it, and I couldn't send very big files through other resources. So I started using my YouTube and uploading videos. Yeah. Plus, I figure, if AI is like what the movies would have you think, that maybe I can get a taste of, what off of my YouTube channel. Not all people are that bad.
I've been hearing some crazy things about that shit over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
AI and whatnot.
I am not sure what it is exactly. I don't know. Part of me would think that maybe their AI ain't as good as they would want you to believe. All this chatbot GPT and all this other shit with the AI. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just fancy programming. I mean, when people start talking about some sort of entity or like a life form, I mean, it's freaking ones and zeros. Yeah, what it displays to us is not necessarily the same as what's going on inside that machine. Like a video game, we see something on the screen, but what's going on inside the CPU is not the same, not likely.
Some bill here.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that might be basil behind it,
This?
around the angel. I think it's some sort of herb. I'm not sure, though.
Oh. That looks like oregano.
Maybe. We planted herbs there, but I turned it into what I call the memorial garden. I'm going to try to further grow what's in there to expand it. You think the cops will come back by? They don't never stop here.
No oregano. Basil? I don't know.
Did you ask Google? I didn't ask Google.
No.
I just used my own guesswork. It doesn't grow as fast as a weed. I know that. So I've been watching it grow for a few weeks now. the dill is a lot bigger than it was. It was just this tiny little thing. None of them came up last year. We planted seeds there. They didn't come up. Some of the stuff we planted over here, it didn't come up. But these weird weeds and shit kind of did. And I just like, I'll leave them. I mean, it's it's very redneck, these planters. The one on the end is the worst. It's pure weeds. I mean, it sure looks that way. But tomorrow morning, I'm probably going to be transplanting my flowers over here. I may be putting those over here in this new bed. Yeah. And that may be exactly where the elderberry goes.
Today I was working and I'm like, I don't know, I just got in a bad mood.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about all kinds of negative things in my history. And I'm like, I haven't spent enough time in my garden. And I went and I spent time in my garden after I got done doing my chores.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to go to Ader and go get groceries, and then after work, and I spent the rest of my time in my garden from then until I got a hold of you.
Well, you reap what you sow. And it's a great place to be spending time with your father, too. And great times to talk to him and, asking him to bless the work that you're doing.
Honestly, I was into the care of the plants. That's what it was. It's like, I don't know, I made a comment recently that I felt like I skipped over midlife crisis and went straight to grandparent mode because I'm tending a garden. And I'm like, and I was just thinking that was accurate a bit. I don't know, but it's more than that. It's like,
I don't think it's a grandparent thing.
it just, I don't know. It just makes me feel good to be able to tend to something and care for something.
Well, it's going to reward you for that as well. And it has a spiritual reward in itself. You're caring for the earth.
It was more personal than that.
More personal than spiritual?
It was more personal than caring for the earth. Caring for the earth is very big and broad.
Yeah, but it's like, how do you change the world? One act of kindness at a time. Tending to a tree. You can't tend to every tree. So you tend to one tree very well. Take good care of that plant. And it's a plant that's going to reward you with food and you with further encouragement to take care of other plants. I think food plants probably, I mean, I don't know, man. They all got their purposes, and even some weeds. So weeds pop up. Yeah, you get a lot of weeds that there's a whole bunch of them. You're plucking stuff out, but then you might have this one oddball weed that just kind of hanging out, and maybe watch it grow. Sometimes those things are meant to be there, and if you're compelled to let something grow, let it grow. When you're compelled to take it out, take it out.
Now, some of the plants that I put in the last few days, part of me thinks that I might have accidentally plucked some out and I didn't
Yeah.
realize it.
I've done that. Done that.
And because I'm just like going through and like I'm just weeding, you know, like that looks like a weed, that looks like a weed. Well, does it? now that I'm thinking in retrospect, I'm like, does it though?
Yeah, it's wonderful when you pull it out and then you realize that you just pulled out one of your little seedlings. I've been gung ho on weeding and just grabbing shit, weeds everywhere, and then boom, a plant. I got the wrong one. Now she's getting violent.
It's got a vent hole. That's what it is.
Put a piece of wood on it.
Might want to put over that hole if you want to stop it from being violent. But
A little violence, okay. We're
violent.
humans. We're violent creatures, right?
Well, fire is violence. Sure. By our nature, we are. However, we really do try not to be.
Maybe some.
A lot of people, I think.
There's different ways people are violent, though. Sometimes it's just passive aggressiveness towards people. You know, when it comes to feelings, physical, harm is harm. Good is good, bad is bad, right?
Oh, so those 2 tomato plants that I transplanted, I think one of them took root because it looked a lot nicer, like when I checked on it today, than it did previously.
See some new growth.
I want to say yes, but I'm not sure because it seemed like it had, fan leaves or sun leaves, I should say, that looked really good and healthy. It looked better than the way I planted them. And so I'm like, all right.
Now, watch the top, right where the very top of the stem is, where they split off and stuff. You'll see it grow something new there. That'll tell you.
I tell you what, dude, those cucumber plants that I thought were going to die, they've come back pretty strong. After I took off what I thought were diseased leaves or dying leaves,
Mm-hmm.
and plus it was a transplant, and it was a small transplant, like one of the tiny cells.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't going to retain a whole lot of water anyway. It was like once a day or almost more because of how big the plant was compared to how small the dirt was. And it just, today when I checked on it, it looked like it had new growth on it. The other one, but it still looked like it was kind of purplish. And I was like, that's kind of interesting. I thought maybe it was one of them midnight delights or something like that. And because I don't know, it was somebody gave it to us. I'm like, I don't know what this thing is, right?
Find out it's an eggplant.
Well, no, I knew it was tomato because they told us it was tomato. I just didn't know what kind. So I'm just like, it's a tomato plant. Fuck it, I'll just bury it, Let's see what happens. And so I put it between my potatoes and my carrots. And we'll see. We'll see how everything turns out. It's kind of small and it's in the shade, so that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, see how it does anyway.
I mean, it's not 100% shade, but almost.
Do you keep notes on any of that?
No, I haven't yet. I should. I do need to.
Oh, I understand the task of it all. It's hard for me to do the notes. It's hard enough to get everything else done.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I need a faster, easier solution. Like talk it, and that's what it is. And I've thought about that for like on my phone, just like make Word documents, that sort of thing.
Well, if you were going to start trying to take notes, I think your best bet would be like a notebook, and you figure out how you want to track doing your notes. Whether you do it plot by plot, gets its own page.
You want
Sure.
one?
Wait, what is it?
Voodoo Ranger. Juicy Hazy IPA.
Probably better not. My stomach doesn't do
It's
well
like
with the citrus.
7.5.
The citrus I have trouble with.
I think.
I tried.
Yeah, it does have a bit of a.
I tried their
like a grapefruit
I think
taste.
it's juicy. That's the juicy. I got the it's a fruit punch one, whatever it is. And yeah, it tasted like fruit punch, but I didn't like it in beer.
Yeah, that's not a fruit punch. That tastes more like grapefruit to me.
Yeah.
But that's the IPA taste plus, whatever hoppy, whatever they got going on in there. Oh, no!
Yeah, I think tomorrow I'll probably plant my elderberry. I'm thinking right here in the front yard would be a good spot for it.
So I really did want to get that raised bed filled and topped off and to a point where I can put topsoil down.
Yeah.
And so that whatever I can get.
So you think around maybe 10 a.m.?
Oh, I think I'd rather do it a little bit earlier than that, but I don't know because let's see. It's 11 o'clock right now.
Yeah.
And I'm here, and I'm not trying to go to sleep. So, what time did you suggest? 10?
Yeah, like 10. I don't see why that wouldn't be managed.
9:30, 10 o'clock is probably not too bad.
It really won't take that long to go get shit. What'll take the longest is shoveling it into a can. And I've got 2 big old full bags, so we ain't even got a mess going behind the saw. We can just
Like what kind of bags?
They're pretty big. They're too big for us to haul.
No, that's not what I'm getting at.
They're like a burlap sack bag.
Okay, so we'll go from the burlap sack thing
into the can. Yeah. And just scooping out, dump it in. Scoop it out, dump it in. And if it's wet at all, it'll be that top layer. So the rest of it will be like probably fluffy, powdery shit.
Well, then I'll have to get my can, my big green can. That is the one that I bought. That the trash company didn't give us. I have to clean that out. That's just a little bit in the bottom. And fill that up with probably sawdust. That's a lot of dust, though, man.
Oh yeah.
Now that's my next problem, though, is the topsoil, which I don't have, which I don't know how to get without paying for it, which I can't afford to
Well,
pay for it.
what I can tell you is, see that bag right there?
That's, dude, no. That's not what I'm asking for. Because my thought is I want to put about, I don't know, about 8 inches worth of topsoil in.
Yep.
Maybe 6 to 8 inches. So,
Could you afford $30?
Well, hang on a second here. We can do the math, right? So it's going to be 6 to 8 inches. Let's go 8 inches by 24 inches by 24 by 8. That's 8 feet. 8 feet is what, 96? So 12, 24, 36, 48, 64. Fuck.
Two times 8 is 16. So that'd be 16 square feet times 1 would be 16 cubic feet, right? But you cut that in half for 6 inches.
By 3.
And you have 8
By 3 is cubic feet.
8 cubic feet. Oh, by 3, okay. So
Well,
you got to times it by 3? I forget.
It's 11:25, and I'm too drunk to do math. Sorry.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you could afford like $30 to $40, you could get yourself 6 of those bags. And I think 5, 6 of those bags like that would, because those bags right there about $5 each.
Where you get them from?
Walmart, $5 each. It's just cheap ass garden soil. Yep, and that's a big bag, dude. I would have said 4 would do it, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't think 4 would do it, but I think probably 5 or 6, and they're only like $5 each. So I mean, $40, you could do the whole thing on topsoil like that.
Yep.
And that's great soil. I mean,
Oh,
as far as I'm concerned,
that was my knee and my back.
You got to sit down close to the fire, though.
Well, it's.
It's not midnight.
I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to go, dude.
All
And
right.
let's go. Let's count on. Let's shoot for 9:30 to give ourselves some extra time to manage the situation, because it might not be 9:30.
Yeah, probably not. Look at this fire. You leaving already?
I'm fucking dancing around this fire, and I'm
Hell yeah. It's like getting back to your roots. You know your Scottish ancestors was dancing around a fire.
Scottish.
You don't think you got Scottish ancestors?
I don't know. Tickle me, I'm Irish.
It's Kiss Me, I'm Irish.
I'm gonna go over here and do it.
Yeah, great. You show up on camera. That's awesome. You fall asleep over there?
Maybe. About to fall over. Not really.
Ugh. That's some good coals, man.
Yeah, it is. Hey, Jake. Let's see if you know this one.
What?
Hello, or hello, my baby. Hello, my.
Honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
That is interesting. That is interesting.
What?
That you say honey.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
I know, and you just say it so natural.
Why?
Well, because there's a whole bunch of people who would say, hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Maybe it was dark.
Well, that's one of those Mandela effects.
I would say that me remembering a cartoon with a dancing dead frog.
That's funny. It originally came from the late 1800s, actual song, the original, and it actually did say, hello, my baby, hello, my honey. And it always has said that. But there are those who remember it differently. Uh, and I just find it interesting that I've asked, I don't know, a handful of people the same thing, to complete that, and they've all said darling. And you said honey. Like, I mean, everybody answers like, boom, there's the answer, including you, but you gave a different answer than the others. And that's what I find interesting.
Dude, I got that from Looney Tunes.
I know. That's what I remember it from as well. And most people, I mean, even
What would
my
other people think of it as? I mean, as a reference.
everywhere you would ever look, it's gonna say hello, my honey. It's gonna say my honey everywhere you look.
Well,
It's
that's
not
what
gonna
I
say
said.
darling.
That's what I said, but you said that they think it's
Yeah, there's
darling.
a whole lot of people who believe it is darling and always was, but for some reason, reality says it's honey.
Huh.
And I also remember it as darling, but I'll tell you, the more I hear it as honey, the more that darling washes away as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's the Mandela effect thing is, I don't really like the name. It makes it sound hokey right away. And when you look around at all the examples people want to give, there's some real hokey shit out there. I don't necessarily want to dismiss them because who knows, but for me, they don't. I'm not. I don't always find them relatable. But then there's some that's like, yeah, and then it's like, but I don't have an answer, and I just kind of call it a phenomena where I remember something different than somebody else, and why I don't know. I have like, let's just call them, I've imagined scenarios that could explain it, and some of them are out there, but like just as concerning too. Like if they were the reality of what it is, like I would hate that. Like, whoa. But I don't know. It could be as simple as just something clicks different for some other people. Some people could be reality is that relative that I live in a different reality than someone else. To the point when you, for example, like here's an argument I've heard someone make. Let's say you're get an argument with your wife and you're talking about it and she says, "You said such and such." And you're like, "No, I didn't." And she says, "Yes, you did." And now you're fighting over what you said or you didn't say. But maybe you did in her reality. And in yours, you didn't. And you'll never ever be able to get around the fact that in her reality, you literally did say something that in your reality, you didn't. And that's kind of out of the box thinking for sure. But
Not really, because you know what? After watching the movie that I just watched the other day, The Flash,
mm-hmm.
it was relevant.
Well,
because um, when it comes to time, it even goes down to like what I was talking about earlier about how I was thinking about the past and how it was bothering me and so on and so forth. And so, you can realize that it's just one of those things.
well, yeah, my experience is different than yours for sure. Even when you experience the same exact thing as me at the same time as me, you're slightly different perspective on something. All your experiences, even through life combined for that moment, make it different. I wonder to what degree.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like a spotlight. I bought that last year for like $3.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I bought
Where'd
two
you
of
get
them.
that at?
Dollar General.
I'm gonna have to start going in there.
Yeah, they got a little section of garden stuff, and that's where you'll see some of the gnomes and stuff I've got out there.
Huh. That's cool.
That elderberry, they got that for me, and it had a little gnome head on a stick. That thing is pretty cute. It'll have to come inside for indoor plants. I've got some sand, uh, and I'm gonna mix the sand. I am almost thinking I might purchase some potting soil. Uh, I want to grow some cactus, and I'm thinking about setting
Yeah,
up.
you're telling me about that.
Yeah, I'm thinking of setting up like a terrarium indoors, like some sort of like thing I can turn on the light, have it lit up, control the lighting, the environment, and have this box where I grow cactuses and some other whatever's, you know. I do like the ideas of cactuses, growing them to maturity and giving them away as gifts and stuff.
Good idea.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, if I get to where I know how to grow them well, I can start experimenting with them too. You know, maybe change the what shape they grow in, or I don't know. Wrap rubber bands around it while it's growing and get it to grow funky shapes or something. I don't. Who knows? I don't know. First thing is learning how to get them to grow and make nice little pots with cactuses in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another little hobby. See, I'm never bored because I've got so many damn hobbies I can do.
Yeah, it sounds about like me. I'm looking, if I'm not in the garden, I'm thinking about what can I do to improve the garden.
Yeah, not you need to get yourself a ukulele so you can play on your strings while you're thinking.
Oh, that's pretty funny, man.
Ukuleles are cool.
John Macy. I want to go home.
Okay, go ahead. Go to bed. I'll see you by 10. If I can get myself going before then, I will.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, you man.
That was a good time. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good one. Be safe.
Oh. John Macy.
Oh, my hoodie.
Yeah, there's your hoodie.
It's a little out of tune. Yep. Well, y'all have a good one.